It has been said that the hardest hard are things you can't change.
Our next guest says it's only when you accept what you can control that you find your way back to peace and happiness. Dr. Allison Mangrum joins us now, and this really is a topic, Allison, that affects all of us, all walks of life, all ages.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't think there's anyone that any of us know of that doesn't have something that they wish they could change, right? Something that's totally outside of their control, but it still really impacts their life.
Yeah. Right?
We all have something.
So how much does our need for control add to this struggle?
You know, I mean, I think control is something that most of us struggle with, but I don't think it's control that we're actually looking for. I think it's protection. I think it's safety. And the brain, its only job is to try to make us feel safe in our environment. And so it mistakenly tells us control is that way. But when we realize when we're trying to control something that's outside of our control, which is pretty much everything except for what's going on inside us, right? We just cause ourselves more problems, and most of the time other people too.
Anxiety, right? Stress is all because of things you can't control.
Yeah, for sure.
So you say the first step is to give what we're feeling and what we're going through a name.
Yes, I love the statement, name it to tame it. You know, when we can like name something, this is my experience and this is how it's making me feel, we're one step closer to accepting it.
And I know another step in there is what you call radical honesty. Why do we need radical honesty?
I love that phrase lately, radical honesty, radical acceptance. And I think it's just being able to say, like, I can accept what is and be honest with my situation instead of fighting against the reality of it.
I think that's hard to do.
It is. We spend a lot of time fighting against what is actually happening instead of allowing it to just be.
What would be an example of that, or how would that play out?
Finding radical honesty, being able to just accept, like, okay, maybe I'm in this hard situation and it's making me feel insecure. I can just recognize that, name it. I'm feeling insecure right now. I'm going to be honest with myself, and then that's going to give me the ability to shift and decide how I want to react.
So how do you want to shift our focus? Where do we need to take that energy and put it somewhere else?
Yeah, I think most of the time when we're trying to control something, unfortunately, we're trying to control something outside of ourselves. And when we're trying to control something outside of ourselves, it's never going to work. So we need to shift our perspective from the things outside of us to that internal sense of control. You know, what do I have going on inside myself? What are my own feelings, perspectives, thoughts, actions towards this? If I'm dwelling on the outside, if I'm dwelling on the past, if I'm dwelling on unreasonable outcomes, I'm going to stay in suffering. If I shift to an internal focus, I'm going to be able to find ways back to peace and happiness.
See, I just want to change everybody else. Right? I'm not the problem.
There's nothing wrong.
It's not me.
No way.
Well, you are a huge champion of mindfulness and being present. Where does that have a place in all of this as we look to, you know, accept and make acceptance a part of our everyday life?
Mindfulness is kind of always the answer. Like, if we can come back into the present moment is the only thing we have control over. We don't have control over the past, we don't have control over the future. But if we come back into the present, then we can start to look at what can I personally do right now. And then we have to remember to be patient. You know, acceptance isn't something that's going to happen overnight. And accepting things we can't change isn't a one-time thing. We're going to have to revisit it every time that same feeling comes up for us.
So how do you know you're on the right path, though?
I think you know you're on the right path when you can talk about the situation or think about the situation and it doesn't trigger the same emotional response. You're objective instead of internalizing what's happening.
All good stuff here. Where can we learn more about this and put it to use?
Yeah, you can follow me on social media at Meditate with Allie.
All right. Thanks so much for your time.
We've got a name to it now. There you go.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Allie.